Welcome to IELTS 20 Test 1 Passage 2, The Elm. We will explore the past, present, and future of this tree together. This part has 13 questions. It includes information location, person matching, and summary completion. All questions are based on locating keywords. We will solve them by finding information in the passage. Mastering keyword location skills helps you find answers quickly and improve your efficiency. The article has 7 paragraphs, from A to G. It talks about the history, disease, and reintroduction of elms. Passage 1 to 3, introduce the history and current situation of elm disease. Passage 4 to 5, talk about the cultural value of elm and examples of survival. Passage 6 to 7, discuss the possibility and controversy of reintroducing elms. The heat map shows that most questions are concentrated in paragraphs C, E, and G. Let's look at question 14. It asks you to find which paragraph mentions the research problems caused by only a few large elms surviving. The keywords are research problems and few surviving large elms. Paragraph C mentions the number of mature survivors is relatively small, which limits research opportunities, and then raises research questions about why they survived. So the answer to question 14 is C. Let's look at question 15. It asks you to find which paragraph contains details of a difference of opinion about the value of reintroducing elms to Britain. The keywords are difference of opinion and value of reintroducing elms. In paragraph G, Russell supports reintroduction, while Eliot is cautious, calling it cloning. This clearly shows a difference of opinion. So the answer to question 15 is G. Let's look at question 16. It asks you to find which paragraph mentions how Dutch elm disease was brought into Britain. Please pause the video and try to locate it yourself first. The core of the question is how it was brought in. The keywords are Dutch elm disease and brought into Britain. Scanning the passage, paragraph B mentions that the second epidemic in the 70s was triggered by shipments of elm from Canada, which directly matches how the disease was brought in. So the answer to question 16 is B. Let's look at question 17. It asks you to find the paragraph that describes the conditions that helped a place in Britain escape Dutch elm disease. The keywords are a location in Britain and conditions. We need to find a specific place and the reason why it survived. Scanning paragraph E, we find Brighton. The text says strong winds from the sea helped the elm trees survive there. So the answer to question 17 is E. Let's look at question 18. It asks you to find which paragraph mentions the stage when young elms become vulnerable to Dutch elm disease. Pause the video and try to locate it yourself. The keywords in the question are young elms and vulnerable. We need to find a sentence that describes when elms become weak or at risk. Scanning paragraph C, we see once the trunk of the elm reaches 10 to 15 centimeters or so in diameter, it becomes a perfect size for beetles to lay eggs and for the fungus to take hold. This exactly describes the stage when elms become vulnerable. So the answer to question 18 is C. Next, let's move on to the features matching section for Q19-23. Let's look at question 19. The statement says, if a tree gets infected with Dutch elm disease, the damage rapidly becomes visible. Please pause the video and think about it yourself first. The key idea in the statement is, damage becomes visible quickly. We need to find which researcher mentioned that the disease effects are very fast and trees show symptoms quickly. Let's locate paragraph F. Russell says, the effects are very quick. After 4 to 6 weeks, susceptible trees show leaf loss or even die. This matches the statement perfectly. So the answer to question 19 is B. Let's look at question 20. Eliot thinks it may be better to wait and see if the surviving mature elms continue to flourish. Please pause the video and choose the correct person from A to D. The core of the statement is, wait and see if the surviving elms continue to flourish, instead of planting new trees. The keywords are wait and surviving. In paragraph G, Eliot says, sometimes the best thing you can do is just give nature time to recover. Over time, you might get resistance. This matches the statement perfectly. So the answer to question 20 is A. Let's look at question 21, for question 21, please pause the video and read the statement and options. The statement says, there must be an explanation for the survival of some mature elms. The core of the statement is, the reason for the survival of mature elms. Keywords are explanation and survival. Locate paragraph C. Russell says, the key is to find out the reason for survival. She asks, what are the reasons for their survival, and says, I don't see how it can be entirely down to luck. So the answer to question 21 is B. Let's look at question 22. The statement says we need to know that insects carrying Dutch elm disease are not very far away. Please pause the video and try to match the statement with person C, D, or E. The key idea in the statement is insects are not far away. We need to find who in the text expresses a similar idea like the threat is close. In paragraph E, we find Peter Bourne. He says the threat is right on our doorstep. This means the same as insects are not very far away in the question. So the answer to question 22 is C. Let's look at question 23. For question 23, please pause the video, read the statement and the list of people, and try to match them. The core of the statement is, the effect of Dutch elm disease, and evidence of how prominent the tree once was. In the text, Matt Elliott says it's hard to picture the disease's impact if you hadn't seen what was there before. Looking at old photos helps you realize how significant the elms were. So the answer to question 23 is A. Next, let's move on to the completion section for Q24-26. Let's look at question 24. The statement says that for centuries, elm was the second-choice hardwood tree in Britain, after what? The phrase ran a close second to means the blank should be a tree that was more popular than elm. Let's locate paragraph D. The very first sentence compares elm with another tree. The original text says elm ran a close second to oak. Notice the answer oak is directly given in the text, no synonym needed. So the answer to question 24 is oak. Let's look at question 25. The question says, in the 18th century, elm was planted more widely and used for storage crates and flooring. Please pause the video and try to fill in the blank. Before the blank, we see storage crates and. This is a parallel structure, so the blank should be a noun, similar to crates. The words 18th century and storage crates in the question are good landmarks. Let's go back to paragraph D and find the sentence containing these words. The original text says, its wood was used for items such as storage crates and flooring. Notice, the word flooring is directly given in the original text. No synonym replacement is needed. So the answer to question 25 is flooring. Let's look at question 26. The question says elm was used to build a part of the 19th century sailing ship Cutty Sark. Please pause the video and try to fill in the blank. Before the blank, we have build the, of the Cutty Sark, and after it, as well as mining equipment. So we need a noun that refers to a part of the ship. Let's go back to paragraph D. We see the sentence, it was also suitable for items that experienced high levels of impact. The information we need is right after this. The text then says, and was used to build the keel of the 19th century sailing ship Cutty Sark. Notice, the word keel is directly given in the original text. No replacement is needed. So the answer to question 26 is keel. Now let's review the key skills we learned today. Trick 1, opposite meaning or detail trap. Watch for negative words or opposite ideas and options. So the answer to question 24 is oak. Trick 2, wrong subject or made-up information. Options mention things not in the text or change the subject. So the answer to question 25 is flooring. Trick 3, synonym replacement or main idea. Correct options often use different words but keep the same core meaning. So the answer to question 26 is keel. Remember, for true-false not given, first find the text, then decide if it's the same, opposite, or not mentioned. Now let's summarize the vocabulary. Pay attention to these synonyms and key terms. Keywords: survivors left-right arrow mature elms, vulnerable left-right arrow perfect size, recover left-right arrow flourish, oak, flooring, keel. That's all for today. Remember these skills and practice more. See you next time.